Here, what we are doing is we created a orders table which has Alice, Bob, okay, and staging table. Here, Bob total amount is completed, okay, and it's here it is pending. Now we are doing an incremental load which includes error handling also. Mm, load. Yeah, so if you see, let's put this here. We are updating the existing records and inserting new records. So how we are inserting? We are doing insert into orders. This is our target table from our order staging based on order ID where not exists and updating existing record. So we are updating orders, set customer name. Uh, we are matching against uh, order ID. We are updating orders and we are matching against the order ID and we are updating. Look, so we are setting the customer name equal to the staging table dot customer name order date. So whatever the four columns, order ID, customer name, uh, customer name, order date, total amount and status, and we are matching against the order ID. So now let's run this incremental load. So we are doing like we are creating a procedure SP incremental load. So our output returns is always string, right? So and begin and end, okay, and here we are using update, set and insert into, and we are inserting into orders from staging where not using where not exists, okay. Select start from orders. Let me run this separately. So only 3 does not exist in our so 3 does not exist in our order table. So this one we are inserting into our orders. If you see here, update and insert into orders. So whatever that does not exist in order, we are inserting from the staging table. So that's the query is where it does not exist in order. And now when I create, or let me run the stored procedure. So stored procedure successfully created. Okay, let's call that stored procedure. Now it got um, so Bob completed and 750 is updated into our orders table, right? So this is the incremental load part. Here now I'm implementing error handling. So what I did is I just created stored procedure SP incremental load, return is string, and we need to If you see here error log, so we are also declaring error message as string. Okay, and there will be yeah. So for one, we are updating the orders and insert new records. If it doesn't go through, we are actually doing a try catch with an exception. Um, we are inserting into the error log when it fails with the timestamp. Okay, that's what we are doing here. So let me sp incremental load. Let's run this. So there was no issue, it got went through. But if there is issue, we'll get a message in the error log, sp incremental load current timestamp when if it fails. Okay, that's how we are handling the exception. And this error log, we already created the table here. If you remember this one, okay, error ID, procedure name, message, and timestamp. Okay, insert into procedure name. Error ID is auto increment. Okay, so that's how this part is. Let's go to next one. Next one is using result set variable. Let's again recreate tables, orders table. Okay, create or successfully created orders table. Let also recreate the error log table. Create or replace, right? Yeah, we are inserting data into our orders table. um, 1 minute. So we are writing get customer ID. So what our procedure is expecting is customer ID. If we pass that parameter, based on that it will insert the data. Okay. So create or replace, return table, and begin declare. So this is the result data set is the variable and data type. Okay, and we are getting all the columns for the customer ID, and we are returning that RES table. Um, Here Snowflake has given this table a return table, right? Generally, here we can give order ID, data type, customer ID, order date, and data type. Instead of that, we are just giving table to get all the columns uh, what are that are declared in this RES. Okay, and we are returning the uh, table RES here. Okay, and we are just for example purpose we are only selecting that particular customer ID in the parameter which we are going to pass, and it will return all the rows for that customer ID into this variable which is a table. Okay, and exception, if it fails we are putting in incremental log. Now let's run this. Select orders. Okay, now call this customer ID. Let's see, we need to pass, right, the customer ID int, and now we are passing customer ID 1. So customer ID 1 we got, right, 101 and 103. So basically we are dynamically executing the SQL using stored procedure and assigning to the result data set, result set. This is the uh, this is the variable and the result set uh, data type, and we are returning that to the RES table, return table, this one. Okay, return table, and we are passing that table here, which is nothing but select star from that all the column names. This is one sample stored procedure that will use dynamic SQL and assign the result to the result RES variable, which is the result data set, result set data type. Now work on with DML with transactions. Now we are creating customer and order and error log table again. Let's see. Okay, and let's insert data. Star from this. Okay, now we are implementing the transactions. Here we are creating a stored procedure, procedure order, ID, order ID, return string, declare, v status string, begin exception. Okay, We are inserting and updating. If it's a new one, we are inserting and updating. If status is cancelled, we are actually deleting and we are committing. And if it is committing means we are committing to the orders table and writing as transaction successful. If it is there any exception, we are again creating error log and putting process transaction failed like that failure message. Okay, this is for implementing. Here we are starting a transaction. So first we are creating procedure process order, which is expecting order ID, order customer ID, order amount, order date, and return string. Okay, return is string transaction successful, right? That's what we are expecting. So that's why we give this declare v status a string, begin transaction, insert scenario, update scenario, delete scenario, commit, return is exception. Also, we are giving with fails like that. So order ID, procedure name, set into. Let's run the stored procedure. Now we are calling process order. So it also updates customer table like customer balance we have, right? Customer table. Uh, in case of customer table, it's only customer ID, customer name, and balance. Customer ID, customer name, and balance. Customer name, customer ID, name, and balance. Int string number. Int string number. Int let's run this. Let's run this one. Now the transaction is successful. Let's go and see order table. Yeah, we got right. Order ID, customer ID, total amount and date. Order date. Now we did begin transaction and we called call process order. It does the begin no validation is performed once insert into orders. No constraint checks for customer balance. So status is hard coded to confirmed. That's why now when I ran this, we got confirmed. Okay. Now let's run a stored procedure. What it will does is it will load data from the AWS stage into order staging, and we get whether it is a good data or invalid data. Okay, and we are also logging that, and we are integrating email in case of any failures or anything. Okay, and we are doing some data quality check. Data quality check my email. So this is the data quality check. We are returning the string, and we are declaring table variables: good table, bad table, and local start time. We are truncating the existing staging table, and we are loading into the staging table from the AWS stage. We are getting the file order ID, all this, and the file name. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are setting email and phone number. Okay, and we are checking from staging table. We are counting if the file is already there or not. So we are getting those counts. If it is there, we are stopping. If it is not there, only then we are processing. If it is not there, we are checking count of records. So if you see here, insert into good data, select star from staging, and we are checking if it's a good data or not. If it's a bad data, and we are updating that. We are setting the load timestamp. Okay, and if it's invalid data, why it is we are we are getting those records into the invalid table. And then we are updating the invalid data with timestamp also, and we are calling our email. Let's replace this. Okay, data processing completed, file already processed. Okay, so what we are doing is we are loading data from AWS into staging, compare with file. Okay, if you see here, S3 into temporary table, check the system checks file name without .csv has been processed. If the answer is yes, it will stop. Has been processed. If the file is completely new, then it will check the valid data or invalid data. Good quality rules run good records go to good table, bad records go to invalid table. Audit logs, success email is sent. Okay, compares with orders good data, and this is a flow. You're truncating the order staging, you're loading file from S3 to order staging. Always this part always happens. Here if it checks as the file has been processed. If it is not processed, it will go into it's a good data or bad data. It's already processed, it will stop. For every run, it loads data into S3. This happens before this duplicate check. So even if the file was processed yesterday, it will go into order staging, and then it will check the procedures. So safety, we are checking duplicate records. It will do inspection of the incoming data. Okay, so this is the flow. Good data or bad data. File has been processed. Do nothing. Now it will check in, compare with the orders invalid data. File already processed invalid data. Like this. So let's run this. We're doing data quality check basically. This is for just I just replaced the email. Now it got success. Hmm. Now let's run this. Now run this stored procedure where we are declaring good table, bad table, and local start time. It loads data from stage into order staging. That will not stop, and we are setting email and phone manually here, and we are comparing against the orders good data with the order staging. It is if the table already exists, it will not process data already. Yeah, if the file already exists, it will not process. If it is not, 1 minute. If not processed, it will load it. Yeah, if it's already processed, it will stop. Hmm? Let's run this now. Stored procedure, data quality check. So our stored procedure got created. Now let's run a few commands. We are running that stored procedure. Call Yeah, we ran a stored procedure. So we got that 17 records. Okay, invalid is invalid date. Now let's truncate this one. We truncated, right? Let's see the 0, 0, 0, 0. Now we are writing small data quality check scheduling, so it will compute for every 1 minute. Okay, let's run this. Now we are going to resume that. So since we did the data quality check resume for every 1 minute, let's see order staging count. Okay, it has 1500. So now the data is getting loaded. Invalid data, 4090. Okay, and we're also logging that. And we can check our emails. So we got 2 emails, right? Since our file already loaded, yeah, let's see. It says already file has been processed. Recheck once. So every 1 minute it is running, right? First time The data has been loaded. After every 1 minute, it gives the same like this. Okay, let's go here and check. It's the same file, right? So that's why you are getting that already processed. See here, you did truncate. The expected file is processed again, but what happens is the stored procedure still thinks the file was processed before. So you're getting already file has been processed. So the logic checks if file history stored in the first run already inserted before you noticed. So the by time you check the file has been processed. So for first minute file processed, okay. Second is same. Let's do one thing. Let's suspend this one. Okay. Now truncate. Hmm? Hmm? Now let's delete this. Zero, zero, zero. Now you truncated, right? Let's see now. Since we suspended, we should not get any email. Okay, it got suspended. Now let's resume this. So now let's do the auto stage. Yeah, now you got see good data, bad data, data, bad data. Data has been loaded. So we got this email. Now if you wait for 1 more minute, It says file has been processed. Let's wait and see. See, now you got it already processed. So first time it is processing, and second time it will even second time onwards it will do same file, right? It's already processed. That's what we saw here. If it's not processed only, it will go into good and invalid. Otherwise, it will stop. That's why it is saying same file has been processed. Please cross verify. You're giving right this one. So if you see here, good table count. Select count. Takes each file name from staging. It removes the last 4 characters. .csv. Comparing already good data. Counts how many distinct already in the table. If you count is greater than 0, at least one staging file was already processed successfully. If good table count is none of the staging file exist in the good table. Same thing here. Same comparison but checks against invalid data. Counts how many strings were all previously rejected. So if bad table count is greater than 0, the file was already processed and marks invalid. If bad table count is equal to no previous file, no previous invalid existing count. This we are giving this condition, right? If the file has been never been processed only, we are checking. This one. So what we are doing is we are counting and sending the records into good table count and bad table count. So if good table count equal to 0 and bad table count is equal to 0, then we are processing this. Insert into orders data from staging, insert into good data, orders good data, insert into invalid data. And also we are updating that log audit. And also we are sending email if it is already loaded, processed or not. Okay. So this is saying good table count equal to 0 and bad table count to 0. File has never been processed. So if the file has never been processed, then we are processing. Good table using file has. So this means if the file has never been processed. Only continue if the file is completely new. Okay, I think we can suspend this. We might be already receiving so many emails. Yeah, since it's running continuously, let's suspend this one. Not suspend.